Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, gonna be a ZVP here on a Blackburn between Reynor and ShoWTimE. Bottom right, it is Reynor. Bottom left, it is ShoWTimE. These two players are very familiar with each other. ShoWTimE has come out ahead a couple of times in the last few weeks, so I'm sure Reynor is ready for revenge. Man, ShoWTimE's PvZ is so good these days. It's just, he used to be really good at defense and a little bit weaker on offense, but man, he's got on offense right now. Anyway, it's a hatch block. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hit that like button if you're excited for Reynor versus ShoWTimE for your Sunday. And Reynor says, fine. Fine. I'll just take this as my natural. Everything is okay. Protoss are so mean sometimes. Rah, 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 rah. Do, do, do. So I don't know. Like, one thing I've kind of noticed recently is that I'm getting some good views on my StarCraft 2 content. So thanks everyone who's been here. Thanks for hitting that like button. It really does appreciate, or I do appreciate it, but it helps the algorithm know that I'm here, right? It helps it to recommend my cast to other people. And I'm here 5 times a week. So if you're ever wondering, hey, where's Falcon been? I haven't seen a StarCraft 2 cast in a while. Let me tell you something. I'm here 5 times a week with StarCraft 2 content. I do not skip days, all right? So it's Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are those days for the StarCraft 2 content. So I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, leave me a comment. Let me know as well. I do read every comment anyone ever makes on my channel. YouTube makes it very easy for me to do that. My channel is not so big that it's impossible to keep up with the comments. I know there are plenty of channels out there that are ginormous. It is impossible to read every comment. You just can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. But I don't have enough comments that I can't, and so I do. I keep up with it. It's nice. So, let's see. Is ShoWTimE going to go for the Carrier, Void Ray, you know, Archon, High Templar, Immortal strategy? Which is real popular. Real strong these days, too, and does require a bit of work from the Zerg to deal with it. Of course, has to get there first, and that's why a lot of the Zerg players have been doing the Queen Walk stuff, where they walk to the third base with Queens and Hydras and Roaches and Ravagers and try to kill you before you can get up to that Sky Toss kind of a thing. It is a Stargate opening, but again, that's just indicative of he doesn't want to die to Mutas. It doesn't really mean we're going to see Stargate. Like, we're not going to go for Void Rays right off the bat necessarily, but that is always a possibility. It is. Alright, so just probing it up, droning it up, Warp Gate researching it up right now. Again, I hope you're having a great Sunday wherever you happen to be. Actually, this might... It's going to come up like maybe a super early Monday for some people, but definitely Sunday for most. If you have any requests for games you want me to cast, I know DreamHack Winter is going on right now. If you saw a great game and you want Falcon to cast it, let me know. Those replay packs do get released, and I can fulfill those requests pretty darn easily. So just put it in the comments. Say, hey, I really want you to cast like Max Pax versus Reynor from, you know, the Group B and their third game on Blackburn, right? And then I can cast it for you. So, Void Ray coming out, which the Overlord knows, and the Overlord's going to die. I mean, he knows he's dead. But he gets some good scouting information off. He knows it's a Void Ray first, right? He knows there wasn't a second Stargate thrown down while he was alive, so that's good information to have too. And this Ling's going to see the timing on this third base, which is pretty fast. Once you have a Void Ray out, and maybe one Adept or possibly 2, you're going to be just fine against Ling attacks. Reynor would have to commit so many Zerglings to try to kill this thing, which we have seen sometimes. We have seen him go for about 20 Lings, get a full round on this thing, and kill it before it can actually finish warping in. Even with a Void Ray here, even with an Adept here, they can't stop it. But it doesn't seem like Reynor has that on mind today. He's just drones in that production tab all the live long day. Spread and creep out here. This is a popular Warp Prism, Warp and Zealot spot. So that's why the creep's over here for vision purposes. Omicron would be happy about that. Omicron is one of my longtime subscribers. Whenever I play and I'm streaming, he always tells me, spread that creep to the edges of your base, and he's right. And I just forget. I want to spread my creep across the map. That's more fun, right? You get more vision, the army's scared to step on it, but if you put creep inside your base, then the enemy's more scared to drop on it or warp into it, so that's good too. So there's benefits. There's benefits all the way around. It is a Roach Warren and a Lair getting started here about 444 at about 69 total supply, 46 workers or so. Makes a lot of sense to me. Handful of Lings here, just 9 or maybe 10 probably. He lost the 1, yeah. So he makes 10 lings, 45 workers, time for lair, time for roach warren, a time for additional gases to get thrown down here as well. And let's, I mean, based on the drone count and the fact that he's getting even more after this, it doesn't feel like it's going to be any kind of a Roach Ravager style attack. He's just trying to get some roaches for defense against Adepts, or if some Zealots show up, he's ready for them. This Oracle, should we name this Oracle? I mean, it was second, but we'll call it Palpatine Cloning Pod. Darth Vader killed Palpatine, right? Well, yes, but actually, no. He lived because of solo transfers and cloning. The problem is one of his clones gained sentience and flew away in its test tube. The only question remains, is this the canon or the Legends version? Legitimate question, man. I try to put Rise of Skywalker entirely out of my head. I can't. Whew. Somehow Palpatine returned. Okay, that's it. We're done. Palpatine here. Clone of Palpatine running around. Has 0 kills. Gonna try to get some stuff done. Robotics facility on the way here from ShoWTimE. More Void Rays too, by the way. So we got 4 of them. We're working on, wow, 5 and 6. Man, 5 and 6? That's crazy talk. Zerglings jumping in. Hey, there's a 3rd base here. Of course there is. Can we kill it? Absolutely not. Is there a quick 4th base? No. No greedy 4th base from my enemy today. Yeah, 13 drones. I mean, Reynor is 100% greedying it up right here. He needs to spread creep back here, too. He really needs a tumor. I'm really shocked one of those queens did not throw a tumor down. Getting creep back here is super useful in dealing with harassment, because you're going to have probably Adepts show up here, Immortals, Colossus, Void Rays. Protoss has the same problem with their gold base, where Lurkers or Hydras or Roaches or Ravagers show up here and cause them all sorts of problems. Man alive. What do we got here? Overseer says, more Void Rays. Yeah, it's a heavy number of Void Rays, and there's your fleet beacon. Okay, so is this just going to be straight up 3-4 base carrier? I mean, you can support carriers on 4 bases, absolutely. The Void Rays are here to stay alive against any kind of a Roach Ravager thing. And did we got a creep tumor in here, right? That's not the natural distance of a creep. No, it's not. So there's a tumor in here somewhere, I feel like. These queens are absolutely ready for some kind of harassment, but no, that's not happening at all. And there we go. Carrier production at 7 minutes, man. That is the power of Protoss. Chrono Boost. They get tier 3 units pumping at 7.5 minutes. I guess Zerg can get Ultras out probably that fast, but Ultras on their own are not that good. Especially if your enemy's making, you know, Void Rays. It's a problem. So these Lings are going to try to jump on this 4th, which they're +1 completed. Beautiful timing from Reynor. Are we surprised by that? No. Look at him fighting these Adepts, too. The Adepts can't do jack about it, but the Void Rays can, and the Cannons can, and the Shield Battery can, and the Lings have to get out. If they had Adrenal, if they had 3-3, they probably could have done something here, but as it stands, getting some Adept kills is not bad. Maybe a couple probes got focused down. No, 0 probes have died today. Reynor top right base is done. That's a 5th. He is, boom, 96 workers. That is Reynor in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. 96 workers in the first 8 minutes. Can you get 96 workers and 40 Lings and 15 queens in 8 minutes? That's your benchmark, Zerg players. Be like Reynor. Of course, ShoWTimE, on the other hand, has 3 carriers, 6 Void Rays, 4 bases, and 82 probes at 8 minutes. So Protoss, you also have your measuring stick to look up at when you're playing your ladder games and be like, I don't have a million carriers. Okay, 3 carriers and 82 workers at 8 minutes. What's wrong with me? Well, you're not as good as these players are. That's all. Ooh, interesting. Ling dropping. Ling dropping. Going for Nubatized Carapace, but just it's a ways away. We're getting the journey started now. Baneling's coming in. Adrenal Glands on the way. I mean, this is both players 100 billion% just being like, we are maxing out today. The end. That's all we're doing. Man alive. All right, so this is going to be a Ling Bane attack coming into the... Okay, that's a recall back because the Zealots are not enough. Carriers show up. Okay, so drag the carriers away. They were going to poke out. They were going to poke, and they didn't. So that's kind of nice. It saves some time here. Vipers in production, loving that stuff. Hey, speed's finally done for Overlords. Oh my gosh. Holy smoke. So this is where Reynor basically assumes that ShoWTimE doesn't have anything in his main base, and he just used a recall, so it's on cooldown. Oh man, this is This is gonna be good. I haven't seen a Zergling drop in a billion years. So this carrier is here to help. Zealots warping in to assist as well. There's no Banelings in here at all, which I kind of find problematic. But alright, so the Zealots are gonna die, and some probes are gonna die, and this carrier is slowly cleaning this up. 7 probes go down. Reynor's up here with Lings and Banes being like, can I get through this? I don't know, man. There's an Archon. Archon can absorb 18 Banelings without dying. And there's Void Rays and carriers, and no. So these Lings, I don't know. 11 probes got in, like, destroyed, so that's nice. But, I mean, ShoWTimE can replace those in about 47 seconds, if that, with Chrono Boost. So he's fine. So at this point, it's 11 Corruptors. Reynor has been forced into that Spire tech. You just need it versus the carriers. If it was just Void Ray Immortal, like, Hydras would be incredible here. But unfortunately, Hydras are too squishy, and they get all sorts of blown apart by these carriers. Alright, man, what are we doing here? Well, getting spotted again. This... Oh! No, they had it! No! They had the thing! Okay, 16 probes died anyway. Wait, what did you guys just do? Sat here and then ran home? Cool. That's, that doesn't really count for much, but okay. Alright. Ultralisks. Like the Ultra play, Ultras are amazing if the Immortals aren't there and if the Void Ray count isn't too high. But unfortunately, the Immortals are here, and as a result, is there really no High Templar? There is no High Templar. So Abduct, not enough Corruptors to one-shot a carrier, but it's effectively a two-shot, which is fine. It is fine. Zip, 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 zip. Get them, Zealots, get it. Alright, so we split the map in half, which is not good for Zerg players. They need an extra base up on their Protoss opponent, which means they have to have this or this. Actually, they need to have one of these, and the Protoss can't have one of these in order for this to work out for Reynor. He's just not going to be able to make good enough trades. So this is an interesting... The Zealots are sacrificing their lives, and okay, 9 probes go down with 1 Baneling. That's pretty good. If they have the +2, they do one-shot probes, which they have. So Archon's trying to get shots off on these Corruptors. The Corruptors are trying to stay out of range here. This Hatchery is dead. Fairly well, Hatchery. We knew thee, but for a moment it felt like... And just kind of crushing through. This is, I don't know what these Banelings are for, other than to weaken the Archons, I guess, and make it easier for the Ultras to kill them, but the Banelings are for High Templar and Zealots, of which I guess there's a few High Templar back here, but they're being very well protected. The Archons are not going to let the Banelings splash onto them directly. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE north side. Let's do this. And there is 0 ground defense here. There's a bunch of spores, which makes sense, because, you know, Sky Toss. Ow. Okay, 17 drones have died in the combination of this base dying and some drones dying up this way too. Baneling's doing a good job against the Zealots as usual. Greater Spire coming in, and this is, man, as part of Afrika World with Laughing Games, I cast a ZVP on this map. I want to say it was Rogue and Classic? No, it was somebody else. Can't remember who it was, but it was basically like this. The map kind of got split in half. The Zerg player never really got the extra base that he needed as this base goes down. These Zealot run-bys are good. Queen's throwing down transfuses on the Corruptors. He has not shirked on his upgrades. They got +2 attack, charge, +1 shields. They are mean, mean little dudes. Meanwhile, oh, was that a Baneling attack? I'm going to assume it was. And it was. Oh, at effectively a not mining base at all. There's like 4 total probes here. This is not worth, man. He gets like 3 probes with it. Okay. Absolute bummer. Oh, and this hatch goes down. Ugh. Dude, I think ShoWTimE's going to win this game. What is going on with Reynor recently? He's kind of had some early exits to tournaments that are a little bit shocking to see. I mean, this game's not over, but losing that base and these 2 bases is humongous. He's going to be able to jump on this and kill it. Zealots do not have as good upgrades. They only have the +2 attack, and these guys are doing great. So Adrenal +3, they're full cracklings, and doesn't save the Nexus. That's very close. Changelings are the last to die because they're the least of a threat. All right, man. Nobody's even tried to take the 12 o'clock or the 6 o'clock, and I really feel like Reynor needs to try. But at the same time, does he? Does he now? Oh, man. All right, what are we looking at? ShoWTimE, pretty darn happy where he is. Yes, he's lost a base. Yeah, he's lost 40 probes. But he's got a... no, he doesn't have a bank. Reynor's got a mineral bank, actually. But not a gas bank. And then ShoWTimE's the opposite of that. Interestingly enough. +3 ground attack is coming in. The air upgrades, as expected, are pretty good. +3 air. +1 shields. Working on +2 shields right now. These zealots are... yeah, they're gonzo. Big engage down here to the south. The queens are really integral in the strategy to win this game. Lings, banelings, ultras trying to come to this top left base, which is pretty darn far away for ShoWTimE to be able to reinforce. The banelings get in that mineral line. 1621 probes go down. Reynor is evening the score here just a little bit. Holy cannoli, this base is going to go down. I mean, these Void Rays are going to clean up these Ultras real fast. Prismatic Alignment says brrr, and the Ultra dies, but has killed the base. And this base is back, and 23 probes have died, and the income tab looks like this. Both players have taken their hits. This is a good game. ShoWTimE was in control until he lost this base, and he lost this base, and he lost a ton of probes. It's not ideal. He needs those probes back. He's replacing them, but that's those resources that could be going into a bank right now because he's maxed out. He's getting Tempest to deal with the Broodlords, which, again, Tempest were designed in a lab specifically to kill Broodlords. Therefore, they are good for that purpose. Also pretty good in other purposes. If you missed the cheese compilation from last week, which, based on the numbers, I'm not sure how many of you guys know there's a cheese compilation. But every month, I put together a cheese compilation of user-submitted cheeses. And some professional ones, too. We got Zest. We got Scarlet in this last one. We got Probe Scout Samuel, who's a GM player. And some amazing stuff. I labeled it epic because it has some epic, great games in there. Anyway, check it out. Cheese compilation. Last Wednesday of the month. Every month. So, Archon Immortal High Templar army is here. I mean, the Immortals are amazing versus the Ultras. And the Lings are amazing versus the Immortals. But then the Archons are pretty good versus Lings if they're not getting surrounded. It's a very, very delicate balancing act. Ooh, Tectonic Destabilizer is on the way, doing bonus damage to these spores. Well, buildings in general, but specifically to help Protoss clear out these spore forests. That was the intent there. +3 flyer on the way, very important against Skytoss. Those carrier interceptors do tiny bits of damage very quickly, and that's where armor comes into play. It takes a while for a carrier to kill a Corruptor that has +3 armor on it. It gives a total of 4, and the interceptor attacks are not that hot. They're like 6, I think. So drop down to 2, and it just takes a while to whittle through here. Yeah, if Reynor, it's simple math at this point. If Reynor is not able to get an incredible engagement, which is not super likely against a person as good as with Skytoss as ShoWTimE is. I don't see it happening necessarily, but he needs this base or he needs this base, and he needs to prevent ShoWTimE from having either of these bases, all right? I keep saying it, but it's really important. You're looking at this maybe saying Reynor's doing fine. He's got all these bases. He has this new base here. He's got all 50 drones. His army's real big. He's got all these. He's fine. He's not going to make good enough trades. If he wins this game and doesn't take either of those bases, I'm going to eat my lunch. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to eat my hat. Also, I don't wear hats, so that doesn't make any sense either. What I'm saying is, I will be shocked and surprised. But killing these High Templar is a good start. Couple High Templar down. Oh my gosh, losing. Okay, all the High Templar died. That totally sucks. Now the Corruptors can kind of fight with impunity. They don't have to worry about getting stormed. The Void Rays are definitely a concern, but once the Tempests are all gone, oh my gosh, the Corruptors are fighting against Void Rays with Prismatic Alignment up. And there's Archons underneath a little bit here too. That Ultra goes down in the corner. But ShoWTimE just lost most of his Skytoss army. He's down to a Void Ray and an Oracle. The end. He's making 5 more Void Rays with the bank that he has and the number of Stargates that he has. But maybe that was it. Maybe I'm talking about how hard it is for Reynor to win this thing, and he just absolutely picks off the High Templar wandering around alone because the Archons and Immortal are somewhere else. And then suddenly the High Templar count gets dropped down. Well, it's at 6 now. But dropped down to nothing, and the Corruptors don't have to worry about getting stormed, and it's a beautiful thing for Reynor. So ShoWTimE, a bit of a mistake, pays for it dearly, but still alive. Still has the pieces, well, most of the pieces that he needs. His carrier count is at 0. He's not really replacing them either, which is a bit of a problem. I love it when Lings just attack and just drain the energy off of shield batteries. There's your more storm, though. Okay, ow, great. Trying to split so the storm isn't as effective, but geez, prismatic alignment. Bonus versus armored. Incredible. It's like +6 versus armored. It's so good. Alright, man. 187 to 162 supply. ShoWTimE has a lead. Reynor has no bank. No bank at all. Man. Alright, so Reynor, come on, man. You gotta take it. You can't just be on even base count and expect to win this thing. Although, if the carriers are gone, it means you can tech into Hydras, but it's so hard to do that right now. You don't have missile attack upgrades, right? It's hard to have good enough Hydralisks to deal with the Void Rays here if they don't have the range upgrade or the attack upgrade, right? Okay, well, the Brood Lords are just kind of chewing away at this base, and ShoWTimE's up here. Because he can't deal with Brood Lords. He doesn't have Tempest. By that I mean he has 1 Tempest. He doesn't have carriers. Also, oh my gosh, this is turning into an extremely crazy game. Alright, man, so unopposed army top right, taking down Reynor's newer sources of income. Brood Lords taking down one of ShoWTimE's newest sources of income. Also, the Void Ray is just obliterating the Hive. Getting parasitic bombed in the face, though. Alright, so the Vipers did what they could against this, but they couldn't quite finish them off. And there's a recall out of there. Okay, smart. And they recall back here, and now the Brood Lords are in all sorts of trouble. Run, Brood Lords! Oh my gosh, the Spores save us. And actually, the Voiders are on such low energy. They do have to run from the Spores. The top right base dies. The Hive goes down. Reynor is not rebuilding his tech right now, which seems like a bit of a problem. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely crazy pants. So, ooh, Probe Massacre, trying to mine in a war zone, never good. ShoWTimE gonna lose his newest source of income here. The income graph is pretty much 0 right now. Nobody has an advantage, nobody has a ton of money coming in. I mean, there's like these mineral patches, there's this base that's running, and a couple mineral patches from here. So yeah, basically even. Holy Schenectadies. Oh, he knocked down the rocks. He's gonna do the thing. He's gonna do the thing I told him he had to do if he was gonna win this game. Yes. Get it. Get in there. Alright, ShoWTimE, do you got this? Do you have what is in you? We've got Tempests, Archons, Void Rays, not rebuilding carriers. Which I feel like is... I don't know. The Void Rays are insanely good versus Brood Lords, though. Oh, also the Tempest. Have we mentioned them already? I think we have. So a ton of Corruptor, Viper, Brood Lord. But not going to stray too far from the Spores here. The Creep Tumors are spreading to creep. Zerglings and Ultralisks coming to this top left. Very important base for ShoWTimE. Lings and Ultras, but there's an Immortal and Archons and Cannons and Shield Batteries, and Reynor's just like, nah. I'm out, but I am going to absolutely take down Force a Cancel on your Nexus. How about that? Yes, Cancel coming up. Wow. So Reynor's going to do this without really benefiting at all from this. I guess he's long-distance mining from it. Yeah, man. I mean, ShoWTimE's got a decent bank. He is rebuilding more High Templar here. The probe-apocalypse has been insane here today. I mean, it's 97 probes down. 118 interceptors, though. That's a whole lot. Income tab is creeping up into Reynor's favor right now. Even though he lost this top base, he still has this one, which is new and very, very important, and he's just now transferring drones at the 6 o'clock. So he did the thing I told him he needed to do. He took the 6 o'clock or the 12 o'clock. He didn't allow ShoWTimE to get the other one, although... ShoWTimE's taking the 12 o'clock. Or he what? No, he is. He is taking the 12 o'clock. Oh, man. More probes are dying. Well, that brings us into 100, doesn't it? Yeah, 103 have gone down here. More drones going down. This is very important gas for Reynor at the moment, but he's just pushing. He's pushing with his Lings and his Ultralisks. The Broodlords and Corruptors are... The Corruptors are fine. The Broodlords are slow. So you can kind of move around them, which is exactly what ShoWTimE did here. He's just going to snipe a base. By the time the Broodlords show up to save it, he's just going to leave. And he'll be great. He'll be totally fine. This is incredibly important for Reynor right now. But yeah, 12 o'clock being defended by ShoWTimE. Dude, this is turning into one heck of a ZVP. Ooh, we're back on carrier production on accident. It's just one. Maybe it's on accident. It's a little bit weird to have one. Reynor 6 o'clock. An Infester on the way. Is that an accidental Infester? It's weird to see one of anything being made at this stage of the game. But I guess we're maxed out, so like you don't have a ton of supply to just make 8 Infestors, right? I suppose that's what's happening here. Reynor Zerglings, we mentioned that they're cracklings, didn't we? Oh, you're supposed to hold the wall there, Bob the Zealot. Oh, Bob the Zealot. Alright, so some production's going to go down. It's not great. This is why the Void Rise are heading south with all haste. And maybe don't get caught in here and everybody die. Like, I mean, you don't just... Okay, we're just losing Ultras. Oh my gosh, more probes are going to go down too. Ow. Ow. 2 more probes die. This is not good. I don't know how ShoWTimE still has 25 workers. It's because he's insanely good at replacing economy as it dies. That's how. But that means his army's big. It's 171. Reynor's is 156. Tech right now, 10,000 and 9,500. Tech just means upgrades, static defense. So I don't know. It's not super interesting, but I like to mention it every once in a while. But yeah, hit that like button if you've enjoyed this match so far. This has been pretty non-stop and fairly intense. Ever since that initial engagement, Parasitic Bomb gets tossed. The Void Rays do have to split out of it. Oh, or not split out of it. That's fine too. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow. That was a little more damage than we expected. Lings and Ultras, more probes are dying! Ugh, the Corruptors are trying to keep everybody away, but the Void Ray count is super high. So we're just here to kill 9 probes. Add to our total. Oof. Goodbye, Ultralisk. You were loved, I believe. Reynor did love you with his heart. So this is now all of a sudden good for ShoWTimE. Well, except that he only has, 23 probes. But, I mean, how many mineral patches does he really have to mine from anyway? Not many. So he's bringing them up here. He's producing 2 at a time. He's really, really making an effort here. But Cracklings scale so well against Zealots in the later game. Even if they have 3 attack, I guess they don't have crazy good arm. I guess they have 2. So 3/2 Zealots with charge are pretty scary, but Lings do better than Zealots in the late game if everyone's fully upgraded for cost. It's the same thing in Brood War. Lings kind of lose their functionality as defense against Zerglings, and man, they're really good for the first, 10 minutes of the game, though, that's for sure. Lings they're using their skills to take down a Nexus, which is at a dead base, and they don't even get the Nexus. So that's not great. Zealots clean up the Lings inside the main. Income looking like this. Reynor has the slightest of edges. ShoWTimE still mining from the 12 o'clock, still mining from the top left a little bit. The gas is really important. There are exactly 200 minerals left in that gold pocket, which is nice. Yeah. And the 6 o'clock from Reynor's in trouble. He's got his army in position to defend it, though. I'm not sure that ShoWTimE's going to go if there's this many Broodlords in the sky. But perhaps it's just friggin' time to go. Feedback on the Vipers. Storm on the drones. In case he can't get in there, guess who's up north? Ah, Lings and Ultras. The 6 o'clock and the 12 o'clock die simultaneously, which is actually pretty good for ShoWTimE here. The Broodlords can't save it. The Tempest count is a little bit too strong. There's 4. There's 4 Tempests. Dude, is this getting an epic tag? This game's been crazy so far. Fungal time. With that one, oh no, we have multiple infestors now. Okay, so the Fungal's doing a good job of just taking some of the HP off the Void Rays. So the Broodlords against the Archons here to keep the Corruptors away too are the Archons and the Tempests. This is so tight positioning right now. Meanwhile, the gold base is going to die. That's fine. It's effectively mined out anyway here. The Broodlord count remaining high. ShoWTimE's under 100 supply, but Reynor's only at 117. Archon's getting some splash damage against those Corruptors. That's so important that they do that, but I don't know if there's enough here from ShoWTimE. He's dropping quickly. GG! Reynor comes out on top in 30 minutes and 27 seconds. Woo! That was a close one. That was absolutely a close one. Reynor had 700 minerals and 500 gas in the bank. His production tab was, I guess, more Corruptors because why not? Yeah, but there's 1 Void Ray and 3 Immortals and 3 High Templar in an army for ShoWTimE there. Dang. I mean, here's your number. Your number of the day is 63,000 resources lost for ShoWTimE and 58 for Reynor. If you lose more resources in a game than a Zerg player as Protoss, you probably lose. You probably have lost the game. That's just how it works. So yeah, man, those Broodlords doing some work there. Great micro, keeping them back, keeping the Corruptors away from the Archons as well as he could. And just not quite enough Void Ray to handle the Corruptors. Those were the important things there. Good Fungal getting tossed down. Good. I mean, it was Fungals, it was Parasitic Bombs, then it was Corruptors. If it was full health Void Rays, it'd be a different story against them Voids. So beautiful. Great game. 18 Archons died. 9 Corruptors. Is it a different match if Reynor doesn't catch those High Templar out in the middle of the map alone and kill them all? I mean, they weren't alone. There were some carriers there, but they couldn't do enough. Couldn't do enough. All right. Well, that was a great ZVP. I'm going to give it an epic tag. That was amazing. That was absolutely sick. So that is going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.